Welcome back, guys. The show is still your weekend, and from two amazing guests to another amazing guest. You know, I mentioned earlier on the show that adrenaline, there was a reason why I mentioned it. It's not all the time you get to be in this particular side of town. Who do I have? I have Omo Alokwe, who is a cross-country biker. Now you know why I mentioned adrenaline. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's been a long time since you were on the show, like 5 years ago?
Yes, 5 years ago, 2016.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot has happened since then.
Yeah,
Can
sure.
you know, just give us some, brief, juicy details about what has been happening since then?
Well, not very juicy. I've not done much riding in that period. Life took over. I had to start working and sort myself out. I had a plan to do the longest motorcycle ride in Nigeria, but because of the security situation, that's on the shelf for now, so that's what I've been doing.
I was going to ask you about that, and I'm still going to ask.
Sure.
Because for bikers, you have to, you can't bike in your living room.
Yes.
And most times you can't, even your street is not sufficient. They're not bicycles.
Yes.
So you have to go across towns, across, countries and all that.
Sure.
How have you, I know that you said you shelved this, but I know there's still bikers out there. I think last night I was hearing some bikes at night. I'm like, how do they deal with insecurity at this time?
People still go out every day. People still travel. So what we do is just like find out what's happening around us, analyze the news, talk to the transporters, and then, we are very aware of what's going on. So, but we can't, like you said, we're not just going to sit down and die. So we have to go out and ride and go about our daily lives. But try to be as safe as possible, try to be security conscious. That's what we do.
But before this phase of maybe insecurity and having to shelve some of these plans, can you walk us through some of those routes that you have taken? Because, some of us might not be able to go on the bikes and go on the road, but we can live through you.
Okay. So the longest ride I've done was riding from the UK to Nigeria. Yes. That was about 10,000 kilometers. I did it December 2015, got to Nigeria, January 2016. 1 month and 3 days, went over 11 countries, so UK, France, Spain, Morocco, Western Sahara, Mauritania, Senegal, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Nigeria.
Like you guys, I'm sure you can tell from my expression that I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Like, because honestly, when you're thinking of places like UK, you're thinking you're going by sea.
Yes.
If you're not fly,
but
you can go by road.
Yes.
But these are very long trips, and it's not like a car that you have something built around you.
Yes.
So safety, I'm sure, is key. So can you walk us through some of those safety procedures that you have?
So
because this is not something small.
That's my helmet. I'm not wearing my riding gear, which has shoulder protection, elbows, knees, hips, and all the rest of it. Earplugs. If it's cold, you try to keep warm. If it's warm, you try to keep cool. And then, but people are always saying, "Oh, it's such a long," but it's step by step. So I'm here now in Gariki to go to the next place. Say Usetu is the next step. So you're just doing it step by step by step. So it's town to town, country to country, and then you end up with
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're totally geared up.
Yes.
You have all the things, your helmets, the protectors and all.
Yes.
But there's still the issue of this is not a huge machine.
Yes.
It's not like a truck, or you can't pull along maybe like your fuel station or something.
Yes.
So how long does it take you to run out of fuel? And then how do you know if you're going to get fuel? Because you watch all those movies where people get stranded in the desert. You don't want that to happen to you.
Yes, so you've already mapped out your route. You basically know where you're going. And there's always a petrol station in every town. And if you're going through villages, some villages where they don't have petrol stations, they sell petrol in bottles and kegs and stuff like that. Luckily, I have an adventure bike, so my bike would do 300 kilometers on a full tank. So it's very rare I run out of petrol completely.
You said very rare.
Yes.
That means it probably has happened before.
Yes.
How did you get out of it?
I just, luckily, it was not too far from a village where I strolled and got some in a keg and poured it in and continued my journey.
Now, another one, not that I'm projecting my fear on you,
Yes.
because I'm like, this bike is something I should do before I leave this earth.
Yeah, sure.
But the question is, what if you get lost? Like, what navigational tools would you have to use? Because you're going to not necessarily somewhere you know,
Yes.
and you're going on your bike.
Yes.
And then you have to let us know if you have ever gotten lost.
Yes.
And it worked.
Well, so you have your maps, and then luckily we have Google Maps now, so it's very difficult to get lost. And then when you get lost, that's when it's really, really interesting, because you ask people, I'm here, I'm going there, and they direct you to the next place. So it's not a problem at all.
So the modern times or the navigational tools you can use, he said getting lost is the interesting part.
Yes.
Guys, I'm not sure.
No, you're not completely lost. Even like when I was riding from England in the desert, you'd be surprised that things grow in the desert, people live in the desert. When I stopped the bike to just ease myself, 5 minutes later, some guy just popped out and just said, any problem? I was like, no problem. And said, what am I doing? I said, I'm going to Nigeria. I was like, oh, no, you're not going anywhere. What do you mean you're going to Nigeria? So we had a laugh. And even then, my WhatsApp was working, so we exchanged WhatsApp numbers. Even we used to text ourselves, but still I changed my phone.
Wow. Guys, now you know why I mentioned the adrenaline rush, because this is like a great adventure.
Yeah.
But I want to find out, do you take part in, any of the biking rallies, like competitions? Because, I mean, even if you don't see it a lot around, maybe people that don't explore that side of life, but you see it on air, you see, bikers rallies, you see competitions.
Yes.
Do you take part in any of those?
I take part in rallies, but just not racing, so there's like a plan to go around the tour, around the country. And there are a few of them in Nigeria. They do them twice a year. I think they're called Tough Tourers. If you Google Tough Tourers, you'll see, so they have these organized plans where you can, and they have it like a route. So they go from, I think the last one they did was from, they started in, I know they passed through Mina, where I didn't go on that one. I went to see them, my friends, and they ended up in Lagos. And then they had luncheons and stuff like that to celebrate, those who took part in the race.
Wow,
Yeah.
This is fascinating. When it comes to, all the cross-country, biking events and all that, is this something that you would advise bikers to be a part of, or someone who is just upcoming and wants to join this kind of lifestyle?
Yes, it's, like I said, it's traveling, it's exploring, you're learning about people, you're learning about different places. So my last ride, for instance, over the summer break, I just decided I was going to go up north. I was going to go through Benin Republic, Niger, and then come into Nigeria through the north. So I got in through Kebbi State, and just to see how people celebrate Salah and see a few friends along the way. And it was very, very interesting. For instance, in Kebbi State, they have very good roads. You won't believe I did 150 kilometers on a stretch of road, not one single pothole. I was like, is this in Nigeria? There were road signs, so telling you what the hazards were and all that. I was like, yeah, this country can work. We just have to be focused.
That's pretty.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to ask you, because of, you're moving from here to there, you're moving to another country, you're moving to Benin and the likes. Do you need visas for all these places? Because, someone can I just say, okay, now I can ride, let's go.
Yes, you need, luckily they're our neighbors, they're all ECOWAS states. So with your ECOWAS passport, your Nigerian passport, you don't need visas. All you need to do is just show your passport, they stamp you in, stamp you out of Nigeria, stamp you into the country, stamp you out, stamp you into Nigeria, and that's all.
So I can't just bike into UK?
No, that's slightly different.
I'm asking on behalf of a friend.
You can bike into UK, but you just need to get your visas, like if you're going by air or going by sea, that's it. But for at least for West Africa, you don't need visas. For Nigeria, you just need your driving license, that's all, yes.
But a lot of people that watch bikers, I think some of the challenges that they have is a mindset of, would responsible people bike?
Yes.
So I would ask, because some people might be watching and think, oh, this is something I love doing, but
Yes.
I'm a doctor. This is something I would love. It's so nice, but, you know, I'm this. So I know I've met some of the bikers, but there might be people who have such questions. What would you say about the kind of people you find within the biking community?
That's very, very interesting. My friend, Dr. Alheri, who I went to see in Benin Kebbi, is actually a vet doctor. So a very responsible man. I think I'm responsible too.
Yes.
I'm a business analyst. There's a senior advocate of Nigeria who rides. Many people ride, but you won't know, because once they put on the helmet, military officers ride.
You probably wouldn't know.
You won't
who they are.
recognize them.
Wow.
And when I go out and they see me, like, yes, this senior advocate I was telling you about, he saw my helmet, and this was at the golf club, and was very interested. He was talking to me.
So you basically have like a cross section of people.
Oh yes.
I wish we could go on and on. We're out of time. When you're having fun, guys, like, could you extend?
Yes.
Oh, but I would say thank you so much
Thank
for
you very
coming
much.
on the show. So
Thank
I got
you.
my bit.
Yeah.
I was able to live through him a bit. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
The program still continues, and this time we have a report on fine wine and rock music event. Charles is on standby.